get things in order before the playoffs. USC star Juju Watkins was named ESPN's National Freshman of the Year in women's college basketball. The Compton native finished second in Player of the Year voting to Iowa's Caitlin Clark. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. 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 If we care enough.
1, 2, 3, go! Ha ha! I'm gonna try to keep it coming. Things ain't always smooth, but I'll be alright as long as I can find the groove. Yes, I will. Somehow I know that I can make it. You seem to like my style. Don't you worry, I'm gonna be around a while. Yes, I will. I'm just happy to see you talk to me back in style again.
Live from historic Leimert Park in Los Angeles, California, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I'm so glad to see you and me back in stride again. Before we get started with today's show, let me invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Tavis Smiley and get updates on X, that's formerly Twitter, at Tavis Smiley. By the way, should you miss any part of today's program or want to catch up on previous shows, you can always visit thetavisSmileyShow.com. That's thetavisSmileyShow.com, or wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the Tavis Smiley podcast version of this live program at your leisure. Another great show on tap for you today. In our second hour, noted black historian Etta Fields Black joins us to discuss her new text about Harriet Tubman and the Black Freedom movement during the Civil War. Look forward to talking to Etta Fields Black in our second hour today. In our third hour, 2 conversations. Up first,
I set my foot on the gas ship. The ship began to move. It carried me over into Canaan's land. And why not let every man? Oh, fix me, Jesus. Oh, fix me, Jesus.
just want to give you a little fix. For those of you like yours truly who are huge fans of Alvin Ailey, when you hear the music, you know exactly what time it is. Alvin Ailey is back on tour again, and we will talk at the top of hour 3 with choreographer Ronald K. Brown about dance, about Alvin Ailey, and paying tribute this season to Judith Jamison. We'll do that at the top of hour 3. On the B side of hour 3, the California Legislative Black Caucus has finally introduced a package of proposals for reparations following the work of the state's reparations task force. But the bills, get this, the bills do not include one penny, not one red cent, of cash compensation, restitution, or repair. Governor Gavin Newsom and other lawmakers have distanced themselves from the concept of cash payments, arguing that cash alone will not repair the harm done. But for some, the state's legislative package, flat out ignoring monetary payments, is, how might I put it, disingenuous at best and dismissive at worst. On the backside of hour 3, I'll be joined by my colleague Dominic DePrima, who has been covering this issue of reparations here in California for decades now. But in this first hour, 2 more conversations. Up first, I should say on the B side of this hour, black bakery owner Voahangy Rasetarinera delivers a small business lesson after her recent ordeal with Elon Musk, Tesla, and 4,000 mini pies. Okay, we'll explain it on the backside of this hour. It's a fascinating story how she had to make her case and make Elon Musk respond to her. I digress for now. More on that fascinating story again on the B side of this hour. But first in this hour,
we grew up achieving. That's what we knew. I knew how to do, is to just, go to the next level, and I guess I did all right. It did. For 37 years, I climbed the ladder, and Angela and I met at Yale, and then Daddy, that was the first thing. When my father, I was doing 6 Degrees of Separation on Broadway, top of the heap, Tony nomination and second one, and then I got that call from my mommy, hysterical, that Daddy had shot himself in the house, and and for 30 years I was able to, I knew something was going on in the house, but I was able to, go away, and so I had, I'd gotten away with it. I'd gone away to school, and and who knows what was going on at home, but when she called, I didn't. Completely unmoored, and so we went home, my sister and I, for a month. We were home and getting the affairs in order, and we kind of, it was a lot, of course, and then we were getting ready to leave, and my mother said, Courtney and Cecily, I want you all to when you go back, we all have to go in to find therapists. We got to get inside this thing. Mm-hmm. And my sister and I said, okay. And so anyway, I came back to the show, 6 Degrees of Separation, and the cast, of course, just wrapped me up. And I used to get massages in between the matinee days, which was Wednesday and Saturday. So I laid down on the table with Gunilla Asp, Swedish, and she said, Courtney, is there something I need to know about what is going on with you? And I said, well, my father just died of suicide, and she broke, I broke, and we started and we finished, and at the end of the session, she said, I know I have the perfect person for you.
That is the voice of actor Courtney Vance. Yesterday, the White House hosted a Black men's mental health panel aimed at prioritizing mental health and wellness in the Black community. And there you hear Courtney telling his own story in his own words about how he found his way to therapy. We will commence today's show in a moment in dialogue with the director of the White House Office of Public Engagement, the former mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, Steve Benjamin. We'll be joined by Stephen Benjamin when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
Hey y'all, Mona Swain here from Target's new YouTube series, My Cart is Full, where we feature Black founders and creators highlighting their connection to our community. As an actor and content creator, I love using my voice to inspire young Black women who look like me. When it comes to feeding my shine, seeing myself reflected in Black-owned and founded products at Target brings me joy. Together, we are Black Beyond Measure. Learn more at target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
Cookie wants to be a professional wrestler.
I'm Cookie Serratos and I'm 11 years old.
She also wants to win all the medals. That's why Cookie and her family make every day count, squeezing out her best with Go-Go Squeeze.
Okay, Cookie, let's break for a Go-Go Squeeze.
Go-Go Squeeze fruit on-the-go pouches are a nutritious snack made from 100% fruit with no sugar added.
Call Cookie!
Because when you nurture your kids, you squeeze out the best in them. Squeeze out the best with Go-Go Squeeze. Not a low-calorie food. Products range from 11 to 13 grams of sugar and 60 to 70 calories per serving.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, I have a secret. I use Secret Whole Body Deodorant because more than just my armpits stink.
Oh, can I use it where my bra rubs under my...
Oh, yeah.
And what about down there? You know, my...
Totally. 4 out of 5 gynecologists would recommend it. So I tried it, and now I get 72 hours of freshness from my pits to my...
Ooh, I love that it's a spray.
Me too. And it comes in sticks and creams too. Go get your Secret Whole Body Deodorant.
If you're looking for the most epic place on Earth, let's start at the base of a massive waterfall. Then trek through the thick jungle. Then climb to the peak of a snowy mountaintop. Then once you get there, keep going. Because with intelligent 4x4 and 7 drive modes and a Nissan Pathfinder, the search is the real adventure.
Available feature. Intelligent 4x4 cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions.
Smart talk for curious people just like you. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
We're joined now by the director of the White House Office of Public Engagement, former Columbia, South Carolina Mayor Stephen Benjamin. Mayor Benjamin, good to have you on the program. How are you today, sir?
You didn't announce me as a good Kappa man either, but I know it's redundant. I know that's redundant.
That is redundant.
But I would appreciate it.
I was trying to be nice. I was trying to be nice to all those brothers who made the mistake of not pledging Kappa. So
exactly.
I didn't want to rub it in their faces, but I'm good to. It's good to hear your voice and good to have you on. I just played it. I played a clip of Courtney Vance to this audience moments ago before you came on the line. And I wanted them to hear Courtney, who I know well, in his own words, telling the story of what happened to him when his father committed suicide and how he found his way into therapy, and has been going all these years later. It's a harrowing story, an arresting story, and again, Courtney, being a brilliant thespian, tells it quite nicely again in his own words. But I played that because I wanted to lead into our conversation about what happened in the White House yesterday. So I'll let you take it from there, sir.
You know, since the beginning of the administration, the president's made a priority just tackling the mental health crisis. Especially, I think so many of us just with so much proximity to the greatest pandemic since 1918, probably the greatest economic disruption we saw since the 1929, the Great Depression, and the greatest social unrest we saw since the murder of George Floyd, and the loneliness epidemic that came after that. I think it became much more of an issue just that a lot of us are struggling. and obviously the way in which black men have received that message and responded to it, thank God, it's changing very rapidly because of leadership of men like Courtney Vance, who are speaking openly and honestly about the challenges we're facing. So the administration released a comprehensive mental health strategy, designed to really begin to strengthen system capacity, connect more people to care, create healthier environments. And we're just really fortunate that and you know how things go. A sister called Karine Jean-Pierre, Karine called me. We reached out, and we were able to pull this convening together. With several strong brothers speaking to an audience, a diverse audience of people, just really talking about the real opportunity to outline the challenges that we're facing, and what we could do as a community to try and deal with the issue. And while we're talking about brothers yesterday, the issues around maternal mental health, and so the 1 in 5 women in America who experience maternal mental health conditions like postpartum depression, anxiety, or substance use disorder can get the help that they need. It was a really powerful discussion that helped everyone kind of center on our common humanity, and ways in which you, if you're really thoughtful, you can tackle these challenges that we all face. And I thank God not just for a praying father, but a father who's not afraid to share his emotions and his challenges in a way that allowed us to share honestly in our household. I can only imagine, what my childhood would have been like growing up in South Jamaica, Queens, New York in the 1980s. What it would have been like, if we'd fallen back into where we usually fall back in. Black men, we like to be macho and strong and exude strength, when indeed so often we're dealing with serious fragility. It just says we're human, and so it's powerful, and we're really thankful that we were able to have that relatively historic convening, and look forward to doing a whole lot more.
Yep. You mentioned the opportunity this moment presents. Tell me more about what you think that is. What does this particular moment present as opportunity to get traction on this issue?
Well, we highlight Brother Vance as a talented thespian, but more and more, and I know you're seeing it more and more, is more and more brothers just really speaking more freely about what it means really to be a whole human being that doesn't have to hide our fragility that we all suffer from. So I think part of what that is just an open, honest dialogue in which we're able to share not only the way that we feel inside, but also our histories. You watch Sugar Ray Leonard. One of my childhood heroes. Speak about challenges he faced being abused as a child and how it manifests itself, and being trained, how it manifests itself with him in later life. So I just think the open dialogue, when more and more of us start showing up and speaking about our challenges, it then gives us all liberty to then really start focusing on more solutions. The government, like the president and others, doing what we need to do. We published our first of its kind report on mental health research priorities, but then also thinking about ways in which, in an intergovernmental, intersectoral way, we can make sure the services are available. Which really, prior, I dare say, to the president, vice president's leadership in some of these spaces, like I mentioned, specifically around maternal mental health as well. We watched a generation or two of the public sector divesting from these spaces, having places where people need these resources disappear. And obviously, if you look even harder at rural areas where there's some rural areas where almost no public health or medical services exist at all. And, because of either the failure to expand Obamacare and Medicaid expansion in certain states. So, hopefully a more honest discussion allows for better policy making that then allows for, a significant increase in resources so that people can all live, happier, more full lives.
Yeah. I don't mean to make you political. You're on the inside of the White House. You're not on the campaign trail. I understand that clearly. And yet, as you and I both know, and I think will acknowledge, you certainly have been an elected official, as I mentioned earlier, former mayor of Columbia, South Carolina, so you understand how this works. We're in the midst of a campaign. We now have the two presumptive nominees. They've secured the delegates they need to receive their party's nomination. So this thing is on and popping, as we say. And my sense is, and I'm sure you feel the same way, my sense is we're about to have a serious maybe not so serious. I was going to say serious or robust. It's going to be a debate, but it might not be serious or robust. It may just be downright ugly. But there's going to be a serious, an ugly debate for the next number of months about the proper role of government when it comes to delivering social services. You know where I'm going. They have one view, we have another view, and so where mental health for black men or anybody else for that matter is concerned, what say you about this, again, this back and forth we're about to enter into about the proper role of government when it comes to delivering these kinds of social services for mental health, et cetera?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think thank you for giving me the leeway on the proper side of the ledger.
Sure.
To just say, I think our job and my job is going to be over here with my other colleagues in the West Wing and in the White House is really just telling the story about ways in which President Biden, Vice President Harris have been working to improve the body politic and improve overall public health and wealth for people across this country. And I don't mind speaking very directly about black folks. You're talking about repairing neglected infrastructure in black communities. You think about by 2030, removing and replacing every single lead pipe in this country. And what that means, for the generations of poisoning our children. You're making sure that black folks have clean air, clean water, neighborhoods free from pollution, what we're doing in frontline communities all across this country, how we're working to reconnect communities. Just last week, the president was in Milwaukee announcing a $3.3 billion grant to try and mitigate and restore and repair these highways that drove right through the heart of our communities. In Milwaukee alone, 17,000 people and 1,000 businesses displaced. You think about not only the people disconnected from family and church and schools, but also what that meant to destroy generational wealth in that community alone, and how this is now going to try and restore communities in 40 different states across the country. We're going to talk about wealth creation. The president's very clear. He's focused on building an economy from the middle out and bottom up, as you've heard him say 20 million times. But at one point in the last 3 years, black unemployment was at a historic low, literally lower than it's ever been since 1972, when we started keeping that data with 15 million new jobs created. We're going to talk about black wealth increasing 60% since the pandemic, and more black small businesses starting up at the fastest rate in 30 years. And we're going to talk about healthcare coverage. The ACA, more black folk having healthcare coverage on the ACA than ever before. And while we often talk about $35 a month insulin for seniors, we're talking about his initiative he announced at the State of the Union to try to expand that to to everybody else in the country. Not just seniors, but realizing that that good health is wealth as well. The efforts to reduce child poverty with the tax credit that we've had to fight Republicans in the House on. We're going but the child tax credit reduced black child poverty in half. There's so much that we're doing with a very thoughtful, forward-thinking, proactive agenda that on this side of the aisle, our job is to just tell the story.
Yeah.
Tell the story about where we come from, where we are, and then more importantly, where we need to get to together.
Speaking of telling the story, again, I can't ask you political questions because you're on the inside, not on the campaign trail, but this is a personal question, and I'm really curious to get your take on this. Again, as well as I do, because you're reading the same stuff I'm reading every day, there have been a plethora of articles about Joe Biden and black men. And I'd be remiss not to raise that, given what happened yesterday in the White House. Here you all are stepping up to engage the public, and you are the director of the White House Office of Public Engagement. So here you are engaging the public around the issue of black men's mental health. And I'm curious as to, on a personal level, how it feels to be a black man, the former mayor of Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina saved Joe Biden's campaign. Black men and certainly black women saved that campaign. As I've said many times, in doing so, saved this democracy. We didn't just save the campaign, we saved the country authoritarianism in that moment, and black folk in South Carolina deserve great credit for that, and I always want to make sure they receive it. Having said that, here you are, a black man working on the inside of the White House alongside the president, and you're reading these stories from time to time about this disconnect between Joe Biden and black men. As a black man on the inside, working with the president, how do you process those articles when you see them?
Yeah, we would process them, and we talked about the mental health event yesterday. We had literally a dozen different convenings here on so many different topics, so we're going to continue doing that because our job is literally to engage with civil society and making sure that we're lifting up the president's priorities, but more importantly, listening to people about what they're not seeing and making sure we're just connecting the dots for folks. Man, I'm very clear, and in the annals of history, when people talk about being a race man, I'm very proud of being the African seed American son. I know the struggles that we've come through in this country, and my commitment to them is to meeting those struggles, responding to those struggles, and obviously realizing that I'm not only responding to the hopes and dreams of the ancestors, but I'm protecting a future for my daughters and other children to come. I take that very personally, and that means that I have to speak very clearly and frankly to the president about these issues and ways in which we have to just make sure we're communicating our successes, and that if ever we're off base, we got to correct course. So he's been very, he listens closely, and it's been a good, healthy environment. So it doesn't bother me as much. We have a job to do. The campaign has its job. We have our job internally to make sure that we're telling the story more effectively and realizing sometimes, Tavis, that the message might be one thing, but the messenger is something very different. That oftentimes you have to make sure other people are empowered to tell the story as well. It's not going to land from the president or from the vice president because of this distrust in institutions that's emerged very much so over the last several years. What I worry about more so is the amount of poison that is being pushed out very intentionally into our community from other folks in the form of misinformation and disinformation. That's very intentional, encouraging folks to not necessarily vote one way or the other, but maybe to stay home. Yeah. And I would just say to anyone within the sound of my voice that it is our obligation to participate in the process. You vote your conscience. And obviously I want us to make sure we're honoring the struggles of the ancestors, but more importantly that we're taking an active voice in shaping the direction of this great republic, because just as I think you said it very eloquently, all these policy successes that I've tried to articulate on behalf of the president, those are not Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's successes. Black people, people of color, young people responding to the murder of George Floyd stepped up in 2020, went to the polls, and directed the saving of this democracy. Yeah. And it's going to require people to step up again and realize that these successes are their successes, and we have to have more of it, only if we stand together.
He is the former mayor of Columbia, South Carolina. He is now the director of the White House Office of Public Engagement. And they engaged the public once again yesterday in an amazing conversation. I wish I'd been there, but it was, I'm told, a powerful gathering of black men talking about their mental health. I hope and pray that in the months and years to come, we will take the issue of mental health more seriously in this country writ large. But certainly as it relates to black men who are suffering in a variety of ways, and the numbers tell the story that the suicide rate is increasing fastest among young black men than any other group in this country. And so I celebrate and thank Mayor Stephen Benjamin and the White House for this wonderful conference that was held yesterday. Not to mention he's a good Kappa man, so I love him even more. Mayor Benjamin, good to have you on the program, my friend. All the best to you, sir.
God bless you, brother. You take care, man.
Stay strong.
All right.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Families of students killed in the 2021 Oxford, Michigan high school shooting are urging the state attorney general to investigate potential wrongdoing by school officials. Attorney General Dana Nessel has offered to conduct an investigation twice, but was rejected by the school district. The parents say a third-party investigation did not go far enough and did not provide answers they wanted due to school officials having governmental immunity. The NBA championship ring Kobe Bryant gave to his father is up for auction. The 14-karat gold ring is a copy of the ring that was awarded to Bryant after the Lakers won the 2000 NBA championship, the first championship of the African-American basketball great's career. The ring also features 40 diamonds and the Lakers logo. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary hair? Visit your local SoCal FS Cut and Color salon today and let their team of expert stylists pamper you with affordable luxury. Get a free shampoo with every cut. Book your appointment today at fantasticsams.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers rode to an easy win over Atlanta last night at Crypto. They won by 31, their largest victory margin of the season. D'Angelo Russell had 27 points and 10 assists. LeBron had 25 and 10 assists. The Lakers moved up to 9th place in the Western Conference standings. They are 2.5 games behind Phoenix for the 8th and final playoff spot. The Lakers have 13 games left in the regular season. Something is wrong with the Clippers. They are 1-4 in their last 5 games and lost by 17 at home Sunday night to Atlanta. The Clippers have 15 games remaining in the regular season to get things in order before the playoffs. USC star Juju Watkins was named ESPN's National Freshman of the Year in women's college basketball. The Compton native finished second in Player of the Year voting to Iowa's Caitlin Clark. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. We're not just a thermometer recording and broadcasting popular opinion. We aim to be a thermostat, transforming the conversation about climate justice in our community. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Offer ends 4/6. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Starting Monday, March 18th, it's Tavis Smiley on the 9s. You can catch Tavis at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.
Whatever works for you.
It's Tavis Smiley on the 9s. Weekdays on KBLA Talk 1580.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Let's get back to more of Tavis Smiley right now.
Voahangy Rasetarinera is a social entrepreneur and difference maker. She's also a Black bakery owner, and she joins us now to deliver a small business lesson after her recent ordeal with Elon Musk, Tesla, and 4,000 mini pies. It's a fascinating story. Voahangy, good to have you on the program. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you on the program. Let me just jump in and make the most of our time. So, tell me about your bakery for starters.
So, I'm located in San Jose, California, and I started baking from home. I offer like more than 30 flavors. Our flagship product are the mini pies, and that's why so many corporations in the Silicon Valley buy them, because they are perfect for teams, events, and any type of catering. And so what we do, I didn't want to have a bakery just for a bakery. I wanted to have a purpose. So part of my proceeds go to help kids with special needs, as I'm giving some parts of my profits to fund an organization called eSports, and it's run by volunteers only. It's an inclusive program with typical kids and special needs kids, and I just want my kids were coaches for that program, and I wanted to help, so that's why I did that.
Wow. So now you understand that why I say she's a social entrepreneur and a difference maker. She gives partial proceeds to support special needs programs, which is an honorable thing. You also understand, as she just explained, that she owns a bakery. She has over 35 flavors of these mini pies that she makes, and because she's in the San Jose area, in the Silicon Valley, corporations oftentimes order her pies because they're great for team gatherings, team meetings, et cetera, et cetera. So one day, Voahangy, you get a phone call from the people at Tesla. Tell me about that phone call.
So it was on Valentine's Day, actually. So they called us. They say, hey, we're thinking of ordering 2,000 mini pies from you to be delivered the next week on the Tuesday and on the Thursday. Two deliveries on 9 a.m., 9 p.m. And so can we get a quote? So I gave them a quote. We did everything by email, and they approved the quote. And so now I'm like, okay, you understand that it's Wednesday and you want the delivery by Tuesday. So I need to put everything in motion for you. I need to get payment right away. And I always do get payment right away from the company. They, it's on my quote. It said, due on receipt. So usually everything's fine. So they're like, yes. So I'm connecting you with my culinary team, and they will work with you with the payment. So it was approved. I should have gotten the payment. It's Wednesday. Thursday, I still don't have the payment, and I I contact them again. They're like, no, it's gonna happen. And Thursday night, still nothing. And I'm home, and I gave them my cell phone. And at 9 p.m., I received a phone call from them, and they're like, hey, so sorry that you didn't get the payment, because the way that we do it, we go through our vendor, one of our vendors, and then they pay you, and then we pay them with their fee. And I'm like, okay, but then she said, hey, let me ask you a question. Can we double the order? And I'm like, okay, now it's not 2,000 pies, it's 4,000 pies. And I'm like, let me ask my team. And then she said, oh, they have to be individually packaged, wrapped, because we offer that service.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, 4,000 mini pies wrapped, it's too much labor. I cannot do that. And she's like, well, it can be in boxes of 2. And then I'm like, okay, boxes of 2, that's easier. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, okay. So I'm like, let me talk to my team first, because we do everything handmade. So we have to make sure that we can do it, And so I said, I will reach back to you the next morning on Friday. And so I contact my team, and they're like, oh, yes, we can work on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday, and we can also work on Monday, which was a holiday, which was President's Day. And I was like, okay, well, if you guys are confident we can do it, then we will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I reached back to Tesla, and I said, okay, my team said yes, and we will box them in boxes of 2. And so I sent the new invoice, and I'm like, I need to be paid today by 12 because I need to secure my staff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a holiday weekend. I don't know if I have, if I can have my staff working. So I need to secure my staff. And she said, oh yes. So, and I called her too. And she said, no problem. I submitted it for approval. And I said, approve it by 11 a.m. And I'm like, that was a red flag, because for me, I'm like, okay, now it has to go through approval, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
And so at 11, nothing. I'm like, okay, that's her deadline. My deadline is noon, so that's fine. Noon, nothing. At 2 p.m., I don't get anything, so I text her and I said, I'm a small business. I don't have infinite resources.
Sure.
I need to be able to secure my staff, so please, when am I going to be paid? And also because I didn't want to mess up on their order, I needed like a lot of boxes, and they wanted sweet potatoes and apple. And
supplies.
Supplies.
Yeah.
I started, buying, because Monday being a holiday, I wasn't sure I was going to have everything I needed.
Sure.
So I texted her, I called her, and I got, and she texted me back, and she said, oh, sorry, but, plans have changed. It looks like we're not going to be needing this order, and apologies in advance.
Hold up. So you now invested money buying all of the supplies, all the resources you need to bake these 4,000 mini pies that Tesla has ordered, and then at the last minute, after you trying to track them down, they cancel the order, correct?
Yes, by text.
Okay. Hold that thought. After all this, she's a small business owner. So for all you small business owners listening right now, this is a lesson, and I'm glad that she's here to teach it. So she spent, she'll tell you when we come forward, she spent some money, though. She'll tell how much she spent. She spent some money getting all these supplies ready to bake these 4,000 pies. And then Tesla, out of the blue, in a text, cancels the order. Now, you heard her say that they called to double the order. And in a text message, Tesla cancels the order for the 4,000 mini pies. What happens next? We'll talk about it when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley. Ranked number 45 on the Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton, and I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So, no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard-to-reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns, and here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
He's rooting for everybody black. Everybody black. More of Tavis Smiley coming your way right now.
All right, Voahangy. Tesla has called to double this order from 2,000 pies to 4,000 pies. You've gone out now and start spending money getting all the stuff you need to bake these 4,000 pies and put them two to a box. Let me ask you right quick. I'm watching my time. It's getting away from me. How much money had you spent by the time they text you a cancellation of this order?
About $2,000.
Okay. So you spent $2,000. You are a small business owner. I understand that. I'm a small business owner myself. So you spent $2,000 into a small business owner. That's a whole lot of money. Not to Tesla, but that's a lot of money to a small business owner. You spent this $2,000. They text you a cancellation. Tell me what happened the minute you read that text. They were canceling this order. How did you process that text message?
So I called her and I said, because I'm like, okay, text is so, not personal. So I called her and I'm like, okay, what happened? And she's like, oh, it comes from upper management. I'm sorry. And I'm like, well, I started spending money on you guys. And she's like, oh, let me ask again. So she said she's going to ask again, that she'll know by 4 p.m. Of course, 4 p.m. rolls in, nothing. I called her, got the voicemail. And then she texts me back again saying, hey, I'm very sorry. Looks like plans have changed. We will not be needing the order. And thank you for your support. And so I sent her a long tirade of a text saying, hey, I want you to know that you affected my small business. I was, maybe overly dramatic. I'm like, oh, I hope you have a conscience and that you'll remember all weekend, but... And then she calls me back and she's like, oh, I feel for your small business. And I'm like, if you feel for my small business, then you get me reimbursed what I have invested in you.
Yes.
And she's like, oh, it is a fair ask. I'm going to ask. I don't promise anything, but I'm going to ask. And of course, I've never heard from her. So Monday was a holiday. I was not expecting to hear anything from her. Tuesday, I don't hear anything from her. That's when, I'm like, okay, this is not good. Like, for them, it's like bucket money. It's nothing. For me, it's a lot.
Sure.
So I'm like, okay, I need to move on. I need to learn my lesson. I need to move on. But I want to, let me tell my story so that they don't do that to other people. You know?
Correct. Yes.
And so that's why I put it on my Instagram and Facebook, and then the rest is history.
So, well,
there was a lot of pressure.
Not so fast. The rest ain't, it ain't history yet, because I ain't done talking about it yet. It'll be history in 10 minutes, but I ain't there yet. So you put you post this very, very shrewdly, very wisely. You post this on Facebook and Instagram. You are telling your story because the folk at Tesla have dissed you and told you, sorry, thank you for your support in a text message. So you post it on Instagram and Facebook. What happens next when you post it?
Then what happens is next I get some messages from small business owners, like a lot of support. And suddenly I get a message from the NBC channel, the local channel, and then also from ABC, the local channel. And of course, they want to, report about it. And so because it's Tesla, and so they do. And then after that, I have tons of TV, people coming, showing up, asking for more and more interviews. I got some radio interviews. I got some interviews from BBC, from all over the world. And I get some messages from all over the
Let me cut in for a second. Her phone is wobbling. We'll let Miles fix that. We get to the good part of the story now. Elon Musk is about to enter into this story personally. So Miles, get that fixed. And when we come forward in our remaining moments, we'll hear what happens when Elon Musk is forced to get involved in this story over his company Tesla trying to diss a small business. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Seeking the truth. Speaking the truth. This is the Tavis Smiley Show.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
My daughter was diagnosed with a rare malignant rhabdoid tumor on the spine. They sent her straight to St. Jude. My hope was gone. But when you get there, everyone's like, hey, we're not going to give up. And when you see other people not giving up on your child, that makes all the difference in the world. When I found out I didn't have to pay, I was just grateful. They saved my baby's life.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
All right, Voahangy, I got just a few minutes left here. So you have now posted this on Facebook and Instagram, and all of a sudden, as a small business owner who's been screwed, frankly, by Tesla over these 4,000 mini pies that they ordered and canceled at the last minute on text, your story is being covered by ABC and NBC, and you're doing radio programs. The word has gotten out thanks to your post on Facebook and Instagram of what Tesla did to you, you small business owner, you. At some point, the story makes its way to Elon Musk. Tell me that part.
So suddenly we got a tweet, X or whatever you call it, from Elon Musk saying that he's vowing to make it right to me, to the bakery. Mm-hmm. And that that's not how Tesla kind of works, you know.
Mm-hmm. And
under all the pressure.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Elon tweets himself that he and Tesla are going to make this right to you. Did he make it right?
Yes, he did. All I asked was money that I invested, and so they asked me for an invoice. I sent it, and they paid it right away.
Yeah, but all they pay you to your credit, you're very honorable. All you asked for was the money that you had invested, the $2,000, and they paid that $2,000 back right away. Correct?
Correct. But on top of that, I had so much publicity that the community rallied. My business is booming. Like we have tripled our revenue since that happened.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to hear that part of the story. Let me tell you, I'm glad about that part. Let me tell you what I'm not happy about. Elon Musk is cheap and he's wrong. I'm glad that he finally got around to paying the $2,000. I'm glad they paid it quickly. But for all the drama that you went through, Elon Musk and Tesla, as far as I'm concerned, should have paid you a whole lot more than $2,000. And they ought to be glad you didn't sue them. Because if you'd sued them, then there would be pain and suffering and all that. You were very, very honorable. I have nothing but mad respect for you, the way you handled it as an honorable, again, small business owner. You did the right thing. You did absolutely nothing wrong. They should not have played you or tried to play you in the way that they did. But I just believe that Elon Musk, for all that you went through and all that you had to just endure to get this story out, just to get your money. I wanted to believe that Tesla would have offered you more than $2,000, but all they paid was the $2,000. I'll leave it where it is. But I'm so glad to hear that your business is booming these days. So have you increased your number of flavors? Or are you still working through your 35?
No, we're working through still with the 35. It's a lot of flavors.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. Before I lose you, give me some of the flavors. You can't name all 35, but give me some of the flavors. I'm just curious.
Well, we have the apple, blueberry, pecan, the sweet potato. We have all the classics. Plus, we have guava, key lime, chocolate caramel, chocolate raspberry, chocolate orange. What else? We have so many.
Yeah,
we have savories as well.
Yeah, stop. You're making me hungry. You're making me hungry for these mini pies. But I love. Give the audience the name of your business. For those who may want to read more about your business, give me the name of it. How we can read about it.
It's The Giving Pies.
Mm-hmm. The Giving Pie.
And yeah, yes.
I love that name. I wanted her to say it. I knew what it was. Of course, I want her to say it because we started this conversation with her explaining to us that she is a social entrepreneur and a difference maker, and it's called The Giving Pies. And it's a great name. It's a great company. It's a great story. Again, I wish that Elon and them had done a lot more than 2,000. They owe her more than that, but they did pay their bill.
They did pay the bill, and they asked also for me to cater more events for them, but I didn't have the resources anymore. So yeah.
Okay, well that makes me feel a little better now. I'm not quite as mad as I was a few minutes ago. Voahangy Rasetarinera, thank you for coming on. Hope I didn't hack your name up too bad. I practiced it all night long. Did I do okay?
You did perfect.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Glad to hear that. All right. Thank you for joining us. All the best to you and your business, The Giving Pies, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much.
You take care of yourself. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump is suing ABC News and George Stephanopoulos for defamation. The lawsuit centers around Stephanopoulos' interview with Congresswoman Nancy Mace earlier